The Golden State Warriors just made an absolute statement regarding just how good they are as a unit, as they absolutely demolished the Dallas Mavericks last night by almost 40 points. Coming into this game, the Mavericks were 11-2 in their last 13 games and ranked third in the entire NBA in points per game allowed with 102.5. There were so many positives to take away from this game that proves that the Warriors are heading in the right direction to make up for their recent slump of struggles. This win was a complete team effort as 7 guys scored in double digits. Klay Thompson had the best game of his young season. Jonathan Kuminga reminded everyone of his unreal potential as he went 4 for 4 from the 3-point line, while also adding yet another highlight reel dunk. Andrew Wiggins continued to prove why he deserves to get his first All-Star bid, and many more things that I will be discussing later in this video. Also, only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. Enjoy the video. To start the video off, I wanted to talk Klay's performance last night because he deserves so much credit since it was the best game back since his injury, and let's just say he sure did impress a lot of people. It wasn't the typical Klay performance we're used to, like dropping 60 points off of 3 dribbles, but not a single person is expecting that out of him this early into his return. This man just tore his ACL, then unfortunately followed that up by rupturing his Achilles the very next season, so there is no doubt he is going to have some rust in his game. He was able to play his season high in minutes with 25 while shooting 50% from the field and 60% from 3, and added 6 assists to the scorecard as well. And as he eases back into feeling 100% comfortable on the court again, not only are we going to see some unreal games out of him, but he's already looking like he's going to make this Warriors team absolutely deadly, as we all know a healthy Klay is a top shooting guard in this league. Jonathan Kuminga is honestly getting to a point where it seems like almost every night he continues to surpass the already high expectations that were set on him, and last night was no different for him in any way. Already talked about being a future superstar on this team, Kuminga had another outstanding performance last night with a team high 22 points, 5 rebounds as he shot 8 for 9 from the field and made all 4 of his 3-point attempts, and this is all in just 17 minutes of play. He continues to show Steve Kerr and the Warriors coaching staff, and honestly practically everybody at this point, that he deserves to get consistent minutes on this contending Warriors team. What Kuminga is going to become as a prospect is something that not many people fully understand just yet on the magnitude it's going to have on the NBA. If you want to check out one of my recent videos on him where I went more in depth, I left a link to that video in the description that you can watch after this. But Kuminga has the potential to carry on the dominance that this franchise has displayed over the last decade. There are many other young prospects on this team that could very well be fantastic players in the NBA alongside him as well, in Poole, Wiseman, and Moses Moody. And let's just say this team is going to be good down the road, and it probably will be for a very long time. As the season goes on, he continues to impress as he constantly just takes his game to that next level, constantly exceeding the expectations of almost everyone. Look for this to just keep on continuing the more minutes he receives and the more comfortable he gets on the floor. Not a single Warrior in last night's game had over 30 minutes of play, which just shows you how much of a team effort last night's domination was, as Wiggins had another solid outing, as it now looks like he has basically solidified his spot, being an all-star starter for the Western Conference, as Paul George, who is 300,000 votes behind him, may miss the rest of the season by getting surgery on his elbow, and the starters are going to be announced tomorrow, January the 27th. Jordan Poole had another solid night as well, as he's now getting used to his role coming off the bench, which is just absurd to me because he has the talent to start on many teams in the NBA. The Warriors are just absolutely loaded at the guard position. Poole in just 26 minutes had 17 points while shooting 60% from the field and will most likely make a very strong push for the 6th Man of the Year award, depending on how the award is judged, since he was starting for almost half the year. Now, what has been in the headlines for the past couple of weeks was the shooting slump that Curry is currently in, and this unfortunately continued last night against the Mavs. The way I look at this situation is that this team was able to not only beat, but absolutely dominate a strong playoff team with their best player not having a great shooting game in any facet has to be something that you view as nothing but positive for the future. Curry was able to grab 9 rebounds and set up teammates with 7 assists, yet he just shot 20% from the 3-point line and 43% from the field, which has been the story for the majority of the season, as he is shooting his worst percentages of his career. Almost any other player, if this is happening to them, you are seriously concerned with how they're playing and are also probably wondering if this player had just completely lost their ability to shoot the ball. But this just isn't any other player. This is literally the greatest shooter to ever pick up a basketball. This is the man that has completely revolutionized the way the game of basketball is played at every single level. He's broken more records than we can even keep track of now, and if there's one man that I can confidently say can get out of a shooting slump, that man is 250% Stephen Curry, and there's no doubt in my mind about that. He's simply going through a rather terrible shooting slump that every basketball player ever has been through in their own magnitude. He will bounce back, and I'm certain of it, but the positive that I will take away from this is the fact that the team is built so well, and they have so many guys that can pick up their games when their number is called, and they can still beat a team by almost 40 points while one of the greatest scorers has a subpar night. That tells you just how legit this team is, and that tells you that they are going to be an absolutely terrifying team this year in the playoffs, with their ability to beat strong teams in multiple ways without the need to rely on their stars. When Steph comes back, this team will be poised to make another long win streak that will once again terrify the NBA. To bring everything around full circle, on top of Klay still working back to his full workload, this team is nowhere near their full potential, as Draymond, a defensive anchor on this team, is out with an injury, and the same could be said for James Wiseman, the former 2nd overall pick in last year's NBA draft, who just underwent a 2nd knee surgery and has no timetable yet for his return. With these two back in the lineup for the Warriors, this will allow them to truly be a powerhouse, but this has also allowed for us to see just how good the other role players on this team have been, stepping into larger roles to make up for the losses on this team. Kevon Looney does everything that's asked of him, as he doesn't really need to do much offensively with the other offensive stars on this team, and this was made evident last night as he didn't take a single shot, yet grabbed 9 rebounds paired with 2 assists. Otto Porter filled in for Draymond in the starting lineup, and he's shown to be an almost perfect plug-and-play player, where you can simply just insert him into the lineup and he will deliver his 100% effort while doing all the little things to help you win. And the same could be said for both Damian Lee and Bjelica, 2 efficient scorers to come into the game and give you reliable buckets. And then lastly, Gary Payton II showed his extremely strong defensive ability once again last night, as he played just 11 minutes but recorded 2 blocks and a steal. This team is showing that they are arguably the most complete team in the NBA, with a starting lineup and bench unit that are both up there as being the best in the league. This is all while the team is missing many key pieces to injuries, has Klay Thompson shaking off the rust from his injuries, and the greatest shooter of all time in the worst shooting slump of his career. These are all things that I know will improve, and all it takes is time for these guys. They are extremely lucky we're only in the middle of the season, as they now have plenty of time to work hard and improve to get back to potentially holding the best record in the NBA heading into the playoffs. This team is no question in contention to win it all this season, and will need their stars to be playing at their 100% to do so, but this team is once again showing that they have what it takes to win it all this season, and on top of that for many seasons to come. That's going to end off this video of the Golden State Warriors. Let me know down below in the comments if you think this Warriors team is going to play in the NBA Finals this year. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button to help the video get shared along YouTube's algorithm, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more NBA videos like this one that I will be posting multiple times per week. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a fantastic night.